You give up your childhood, you miss proms and games and high school events, and people say it's awful. I say it was a good trade. You missed something, but I think I gained more than I lost. A quote from Mary Lou Retton. To be a successful gymnast, you have to give up things in life that seem so important to others, but are of little of importance to gymnasts. Today I would like to share with you the history of gymnastics, women's accomplishments, and today's sport of gymnastics, and the injuries that came along with the hours of hard work. First, let me tell you about the history of gymnastics and where it all began. Gymnastics was used in ancient times. Soldiers in Greece used gymnastics as a method of training, including throwing, rope climbing, jumping, and wrestling. Rome soldiers used wooden horses called vaults to teach them how to mount and dismount a horse more quickly. Some of these methods of training are still used today. However, by the Middle Ages, gymnastics had become a type of entertainment enjoyed by most people. Traveling groups performed acrobats, including tumbling, to show off flexibility, balance, and strength. It continues to be during the first Olympic Games in 1896. Gymnastics became one of the sports displayed. It continues to be an important event in the Olympic Games today. There are 4 events that women compete on: uneven bars, beam, vault, and floor. Men also compete in vault and floor, but just like women, they have events that men just compete in, like the pommel horse, parallel bars, the rings, and the horizontal bar. All these events should show off a gymnast's agility, strength, and flexibility, published in a magazine article from May 2011. Women's gymnastics has made history in just the past 3 years alone. Hard days are the best because it's when the champions are made. If you push through the hard days, then you can get anything. A quote from Gabby Douglas. Gabby Douglas perfected her cartwheel when she was just 3 years of age. It was Douglas's sister who recognized her tumbling talent and persuaded her mother into signing up Gabby for tumbling classes. By the time she was 14, Douglas placed 4th at the Junior National Championships, but was struggling with coaches who she thought failed to push her to learn new skills. Gabby decided that to gain the right coach, she needed to become an Olympian and to train under the United States gymnastics coach, Chow. Chow happened to be hosting a clinic at her gym that Gabby practiced at. After watching her, Chow knew he wanted her. He found that for her perfect host family in Iowa, for her to live with so that she could train at his gym. In 2012, Gabby Douglas went all around and helped her team bring home the gold for the 3rd time in history, published in a Times article on July 30th, 2012. Also on April 20th, 2014, in Birmingham, Alabama, gymnastics history was made by defending champions Florida Gators and the first-time winners Oklahoma Sooners by sharing the NCAA title. Both teams scored a compiled score of 198.175, published in a New Times Daily article on April 20th, 2014. With all the hard work these women have put into the sports of gymnastics, naturally, injuries have occurred. Shawn Johnson, a former Olympian with 4 gold medals from 2008, stated, "I have a healthy lifestyle, but there's nothing you can really do to prevent rolling an ankle or something like that." Artistic gymnast is still performed at the same apparatus about 50 years ago. It has undergone great changes, increased competition, and growth in rates of participation. This has led to an increased injury risk factor. With the increased risk, the incidence of acute injuries has increased, and as the skill level has increased, the load during training has increased, providing more opportunities for chronic injuries. It has been reported that the most common injuries are in the lower limbs, mainly the ankles and the knees. Many of these accidents are reported to happen during the floor exercise, especially in the landings. The most common anatomical location was the ankle, 69 cases, which was 45.7%, followed by the knee, 40 cases, which was 26.5%. Up to 75% of the accidents are mild, from a British Journal of Sports Medicine article in April 2003. You can, however, practice safe gymnastics to reduce your chances of injuries. Adolescence appears to be associated with the highest incidence of injury, which may be partially due to the growth process itself, included an imbalance between strength and flexibility. Although gymnastics is a sport associated with young participants and frequent high volume, high impact training, there is a load of information on injury risk factors and the effectiveness of injury practices. Further controlled can prevent or reduce the improving training facilities, the design and testing of apparatus and personal equipment used by gymnasts and coaching, and the role of spotting in preventing injury. From an article in British Journal of Sports Medicine in 2001. So in conclusion, gymnastics has been around for many years. Most gymnasts live by the motto, practice as if you were the worst, compete as if you were the best. Gymnastics takes a lot of hard work and dedication. The athletes in the sports know the meaning of these two words. Gymnastics has changed throughout the history. Women have made an impact in the sport in just the past couple of years. The injuries are more likely to occur during the landings on floor and hurt the lower limbs, therefore making gymnastics one of the most dedicated sports.